Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Movies, where I review the styles of movies that I love, the alternative, B-rated cult style flicks. Let's try this one again. This one is one of the kings of the cult flicks, and it came out in 2002. And it was written, directed, and produced by Don Coscarelli, based on the story Bubba Ho-Tep by Joe R. Lansdale, and co-produced by Jason R. Savage, made by Silver Sphere Corporation, and distributed by Vitagraph Films, as well as MGM. Ladies and gentlemen, Bubba Ho-Tep. The movie opens by informing us of the origins of the name Ho-Tep. It was the name of a specific Egyptian dynasty, pharaohs, that lasted from 3100 to 1550 BC. Then it fills us in on the name Bubba. It's what we all think it is. It's hillbilly, redneck, white trash, cracker, good old boy, Bubba. So basically it's giving you the novel that this is what this is going to be about. This movie is going to be about an Egyptian hillbilly pharaoh, which right off the bat sounds like a movie that I'm down to watch. And then we go to Mud Creek, Texas, which yes is a real place, and we see our lead played by the legendary Bruce Campbell. He plays Elvis, but not the Elvis that we would all expect him to play. Young, virile Elvis, like honestly, they missed the ball there. Bruce Campbell could have been a great Elvis. But he's playing Elvis that's really old and in a nursing home, with a serious growth, infection, cyst, maybe cancer, on his...
Captain Winky!
Yeah. As Elvis is contemplating how he got here, wondering about Priscilla, if she knew that he was still alive, would she be at his bedside or would she tell him to go to hell? His roommate dies. I mean, it is a nursing home. Then we see more of this convalescent home as we see this disgusting old woman taking a woman in an iron lungs glasses from her since she's defenseless, which not only shows you how messed up the people in this place are, but how poor it must be because not that many people use iron lungs anymore. I mean, some people do, but it's not very common anymore. Then after she steals another patient's chocolates that were obviously given to them by their family, we see her in her room and she meets someone. Good. Elvis wakes up and sees her.
Help me.
I wouldn't either. I bet she stole his candy too. Then while we see his roommate's daughter clearing out his stuff and making it very clear that she was not a good daughter, never visited him or nothing, we see Elvis's nurse, played by Ella Joyce, coming in to check on her patient, who they legally refer to as Sebastian Half, and his condition. Although he doesn't like her calling him Sebastian Half. He says he's not pretending to be Sebastian Half anymore. He's Elvis. Of course, she's not buying it.
You were an Elvis impersonator, remember?
Makes me wonder if there are any Elvis impersonators in nursing homes claiming to be the real Elvis, since nobody ever wants to accept that he died on the toilet. But let me just state for the record, even if everybody's right and he lived, he didn't die on the toilet, he's faking his death, I guarantee you a guy whose go-to snack on a daily basis was a fried peanut butter banana and bacon sandwich didn't live much longer. Then we go into the story of Elvis telling what really happened, saying that Sebastian Half was an Elvis impersonator at a carnival who was such a good Elvis impersonator that Elvis decided to trade lives with him because he was tired of the fame and the notoriety. He wanted a break, and he pretended to be Sebastian Half. However, he did have a contract with Sebastian Half that would prove that he's really Elvis and that he could have his life back if he ever decided he wanted it back. But then he lost his contract when he left lighter fluid a little too close to a barbecue grill. Only a B movie could have this kind of a backstory. I love it. But of course, the guy's daughter and the nurse just laugh it off.
It was nice to meet you, Mr. Presley.
Get the hell out.
And he's a bit bitter about that. Then we go to one of his friends in the nursing home, Jack, played by Ozzie Davis, who claims to be JFK. Says that they tried to assassinate him, but he barely lived, so to hide him, They made him seem crazy by sticking him in a nursing home and dyeing his skin black.
Can you think of a better way to hide the truth than that?
This one I don't think they're trying to portray was the real JFK, just a crazy man. Especially because, I haven't heard too many stories of people thinking JFK is still alive. And if they did try to say that, I'd say watch the video and explain all the brains all over the back of the car. Then we go to him remembering how his health problems started, where he, pretending to be Sebastian Haff, was doing a show, an Elvis impersonator show, as Sebastian Haff, and his hip went out. They say that was the start of his health problems. But I hate to break it to you, his health problems started way before that. Then later Elvis has to get up in the middle of the night to pee, does, and encounters a surprise. A big-ass beetle that he thinks is a roach. I think he knows it's a beetle. He's just competitive. After a very, very humorous fight with the beetle, he eventually stabs it with a fork and sets it on fire by sticking it into his space heater. I get the fork did the job, but I can understand going that little extra mile. I once smushed a roach, threw it in the toilet, and peed on it, as a warning to the rest of the roaches. Elvis goes into Jack's room, where the walls are literally covered in pictures of people who were implicated in the JFK assassination. Obsessed much? Jack was playing dead because he heard somebody coming and figured it was an assassin coming in to finish the job. But considering this is 2002 and according to you they just turned you into a black man, I think you're good for now. The next night, Jack sees it again, but this time instead of playing dead, he goes to wake up Elvis.
I thought it was Lyndon Johnson, but I was wrong.
Yeah, considering this is 2002 and Lyndon Johnson died in 73, I think it's not him. After assuring Jack that he, as Elvis, had nothing to do with his assassination, which I don't understand why Elvis would ever have had something to do with that, but okay, Jack takes him to the bathroom and shows him some hieroglyphics he found in a bathroom stall. Jack translates the hieroglyphics to say the one line says, Pharaoh licks donkey balls, and the other one that says Cleopatra does the nasty. If this is a Ho-Tep, that dynasty died off way before the Ptolemies, so why would he know who Cleopatra is?
Oh yeah, that makes this ridiculous.
So now Jack takes Elvis back to his room to read a book about soul-sucking, saying that he believes that this is a mummy sucking on people's souls, getting them out of any orifice he can, but mostly sucking them out of the butt! B-movie. But now Elvis asks, why the hieroglyphics on the bathroom stall?
Went in to take a crap, got bored, started writing on the walls.
I reiterate, B-movie. Elvis hears something, goes out and sees the mummy. That is, wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat for some reason. And, they don't explain this. How he got the cowboy hat and boots. Obviously, he wasn't mummified in that. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a part of Egyptian garb back then. Not only that, but Elvis looks into the eyes of the mummy and sees how he got here to Mud Creek, Texas. The mummy was being transported from museum to museum. Somebody tried to steal it for ransom, and their bus crashed off the side of a bridge in Mud Creek. Still doesn't explain the cowboy duds, but whatever. But while this is happening, they see another one of Elvis's friends in the nursing home die of a heart attack. So the good thing is he didn't lose his soul. But while they're being questioned about what they saw, they of course lie and say they did not see a mummy in a cowboy getup.
Some kind of Bubba Ho-Tep.
Here's at it. Bruce Campbell's at it. Jack does some research and finds out all about this mummy and how it did fall off that bridge and into that creek. Even though at some point Elvis calls it a crick, it is a creek. It is spelled with 2 E's, not an I. Stop calling it a crick! I don't care where you're from, it's a creek! Sorry. And Elvis asks what they should do about this.
Well, changing rest homes might be a good idea.
Spoken like a true commander-in-chief. But Elvis sits there and contemplates what they should do after Jack leaves.
We're gonna kill us a mummy.
In this case, Elvis is okay to be cruel. They gear up to fight the mummy!
Do we know what the hell we're doing, man?
No.
I feel like that's what the people who made this movie said. Now they are geared up and ready to fight the mummy. They march, or slowly stroll, outside. They are old. When they get outside, they do fight the mummy, but it is a very powerful, very strong, supernatural being, and once again, these two are old. But as is common knowledge, Elvis knows karate. But again, he's old and he's had way too many peanut butter sandwiches. Jack comes to help. Doesn't really, though. But it's okay, because before he can suck out Jack's soul, Elvis sprays him and lights him on fire. Well, that's what you get for stepping on his blue suede shoes. Sadly, though, Jack did take quite a beating, and he dies.
Mr. President.
But unfortunately, the mummy is not out. So they fight on Jack's wheelchair, not like he needs it anymore, until they go over a hill. And as I say these things, I can't stop thinking how much more B-movie could this get? Once they're down the hill, Elvis is very badly banged up, but he does light some gas that spilled and sets the mummy on fire again. I don't know why he tried that. It didn't work the first time. But for some unknown reason, it does work a second time. The mummy is dead, and now Elvis is fading.
Well, I still have my soul.
Sorry, dude, but I think you lost that when you did Viva Las Vegas. But now for the last time, Elvis has left the building. So there you have it. That's one of the kings of the B-movies, the classic Bubba Ho-Tep, starring B-movie iconic actor Bruce Campbell. This movie got mostly positive reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, both critics and audiences seem to really like this movie. I think this is one of the few times that critics could just kind of let go of the fact that, yes, it's silly, it's weird, it's out there, and just take it for what it was. Because it was very well done. As far as the end, talking about Bubba Nosferatu, Don Coscarelli put that in as a joke. He had no intention of ever doing a Bubba Nosferatu, but as the feedback kept coming in, he decided he was going to go ahead and do one. For a while, him and Bruce Campbell did work on the thoughts for a Bubba Nosferatu, but Bruce Campbell has made it very clear that that's over. He's not doing Bubba Nosferatu. They couldn't come to an agreement, and for the sake of their friendship, just said, I'm not doing it. However, since about 2007, Paul Giamatti and Don Coscarelli have really been trying to get Bubba Nosferatu off the ground. They're saying it's going to be a prequel of sorts. They've got another guy to play Elvis. Paul Giamatti is set to play the Colonel. I want this movie to happen so bad. But at this point, it's been over 20 years. They haven't given up hope, but I would say it's probably not going to happen. They haven't been able to get the funding, which I don't understand. This is the director who gave us Beastmaster! So you give him whatever he wants. Little interesting side note, though. They made Elvis seem like he was so old and decrepit in this. At the time this movie was released, Elvis would have only been 67. Which is old, but not as old as they were portraying him. They were making it seem like he was in his 80s or 90s. Some fans, though, have said that they didn't understand why there was no Elvis music in the movie. Don Coscarelli has replied to that, because even one Elvis song would have cost more than half their budget. You gotta pay for that stuff. Heck, there's a part in the movie where they have a little montage of an Elvis movie marathon. None of the clips they show are actual Elvis movies. They're all just stock footage. People gotta remember, this was a movie that was made on a $1 million budget. It had some success in its limited theater run, as it did $1.2 million, so it made money, but most of the money it made was when it got onto video. Rentals and buying, it's a huge cult hit. To this day, people still love Bubba Ho-Tep, and you can find it on several streaming services. Then again, at this point, it's just the way it is. If you got Bruce Campbell to be in your movie, as long as you can keep the budget low, like about 1 to 1.5, your movie's probably going to make money. Just because, as an actor, Bruce Campbell has such a cult following. But like I alluded to earlier, I really feel like mainstream Hollywood kind of missed the mark here. At this point, probably not, but at some point, Bruce Campbell would have been the perfect person to play Elvis. Heck, even now, if they wanted to do something where it's just like Elvis if he was a little older but serious, still be the perfect person. At times, Bruce Campbell kind of looks like an Elvis impersonator. And that's not an insult. I love Elvis. As far as my recommendation for this, I honestly believe that, yes, this movie is incredibly B-movie. This movie is very silly, but it's just done in a way that I honestly feel that even if you're not a particular fan of silly B movies like I am, you could still enjoy this, as long as you just accept it for what it is. It's silly, it's out there, but it's done very, very well. Great production value, great writing, great directing, great acting. So on that note, I have nothing but the highest recommendation that if you have not seen Bubba Ho-Tep, that you get out there and you check out Bubba Ho-Tep. So there you have it. That's my movie review this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. If you've seen Bubba Ho-Tep, tell me what you thought of Bubba Ho-Tep. And I love you. I love you very much.